Hey there, everyone. It's Molar, and we are in Selima Oasis, which is the first military mission of the Old Kingdom. It is a sister mission to Abu, in which we were introduced to temple complexes and luxury goods. We have a win condition of 3,000 people with modest culture and prosperity ratings, and we're tasked with bringing in ebony from Kerma and repelling invaders. Let's see what our oasis looks like. Ostriches and a lot of woods. And we can cut that wood. We can make papyrus, pottery, and beer. If we're going to use manners like we did in Abu to curb unemployment, we're going to have to get linen from somewhere. I'm sure we can import it, as it looks like we have to import luxury goods. We can hunt those ostriches. Seth is our patron god, and we also have Ra on the map. Seth will help us with invasions, Ra will help us with the economy and with kingdom raiding. And for military, still no academy. We can do recruiter, we can do infantry and archery forts, and we can make weapons. We have a source of copper. Let's get a look at the world. The capital of Mennefer will buy beer from us, but it doesn't look like they'll be all that useful. Timna is a source of copper and clay. They'll also buy beer, and they'll buy papyrus. It's a very expensive route at 1,650 divans, but we're likely going to have to open them if we're going to have a military. Ibeju will sell us our second food, so manners are a possibility. And the linen that we're also going to need for manners. They sell us barley, so we can make some beer. Not a lot of barley, so we're probably just going to use it for our own consumption and not for an export. But they buy wood, and they buy papyrus. So if we can get a source of reeds, this looks like a good trade route. I think we'll open them. The debt does sell us reeds, and they buy wood. My ideas are to import reeds and export papyrus and export 5,000 wood. That should be a pretty good economy, actually. That leaves Kerma, who's our source of ebony. We'll hold off on opening them until we get close to raising up manners. So initially we're going to want to set up a papyrus area. We're going to want to cut down some of this wood. We're going to want to hunt some ostriches, start a military. And in terms of housing, I think we're going to go with 2 large senator blocks flanking the temple complex area. I think we'll run an avenue down across here and try to leave us a little bit of room for a distribution area. And I want to do this with destroying as little of the woods as possible. So I'm actually going to spend a few minutes and come back with a full layout. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to put woodcutters here and here just to make sure that we get to both sides of this oasis. I'll pull all the wood to a storage yard over here just so it's easy for the caravan people to come in here and not get confused about which warehouse to go to. We'll also set up our papyrus industry over here as well, just so all our exports are close to the Kingdom Road. Setting up hunting right here by the ostriches. And we'll do our military here. We've got room for some forts. And then we've got our housing in our temple complex area. It was trickier to do this than I thought and still have room for the water supply. The most important houses are our corner ones here. And the one that's going to supply the hunting and military area. A large senator block has room for 2 gods, a library, and a courthouse. And since we can't do libraries, I think I'm going to put down 2 temples to Seth and 1 to Ra in each of these housing blocks, and hold off on the temple complex for a while, just in the interests of saving some money. And I don't think I'm going to tax the houses until I get them pottery and beer. So I won't be putting down the city palace right away, because I want to start that military as soon as we get some demons coming in from trade. So I'm going to leave this lower block just as feeder housing. So they really only need a physician and a firehouse. This is all I really need to keep this block stable. So let's look after the gods. We're going to place a festival square. We're going to hold a festival right away to Seth. And as soon as it comes up, we're going to have one for Ra. And we're going to get down 2 temples to Seth and 1 to Ra, and that'll cover 750 worshippers. And we'll just put down all the housing for this block, and we'll set up our wood and papyrus industry and get these people fed. Four here. And 4 here. We'll accept wood here. And we'll get wood here. And we'll use this storage yard to accept half a yard of papyrus and half a yard of reeds. And 5 papyrus makers will handle the trade between Abiju and Badet and us. And I think I'll set up about half of our hunting industry and see if we can get these people fed. This area is disconnected from the rest of the city. So we're going to accept game meat here. And then we'll set up a granary that's going to go and get it. And we'll set up bazaars. To buy game meat. And I think we'll go live. I don't like going on 5-speed until I'm pretty sure that the city is on autopilot, but 1.5 is good for this initial little bit. I'm going to focus on hygiene to start with until the water carriers get out. At least in this block. There he goes. And that just takes a crude hut and turns it into a sturdy hut. Price of ebony has fallen. Let's have our festival to Ra. Gotta change this storage yard to get half a yard of wood, and we'll use it to import our ebony. The ostriches are falling to our bowmen. We are making papyrus, and we are cutting wood. Our pushers are going to get the meat, so that is working. Looks like we've got a cart pusher coming to get the wood. We've got a caravan that just bought a little bit of wood. So it looks like everything is functioning properly. Let's start thinking about that military. As soon as we get some workers. That is going to be a huge boost to our economy. 50% price increase. Let's open up Timna. Let's start importing copper. Let's get a warehouse down for it. Let's get some weaponsmiths. And a recruiter. We'll put down our first forts. An archer fort. And an infantry fort. We're doing okay for workers. We're closing on our 750 people, so we're going to have to start thinking about getting some more temples down. Let's do that after we make this sale. Wow, 8,000 demons. Now we need an architect's post here in this town. Well, that's going to be handy. I like that Seth blessing the best. 14,000 demons. We might just set the rest of this town up. Let's bring in barley and sell some beer. So we'll open up the rest of our trade routes. Well, export went over 0, and when we're ready to evolve our housing, we'll just export went over 800. So we'll set up a warehouse here. We're going to use it for accepting half a yard of barley. We're going to also use it to accept our clay. There's 5 breweries. We'll use this storage yard to accept half a yard of beer and half a yard of pottery. We're doing pretty good on funds. I think I'll set up the rest of the housing. We'll start doing all of our taxing. Burma is under siege. Which means we can't bring in any ebony. Let's set up our mansion as well. And I might set up the pottery industry too. Well, we're not going to be able to do that, so we're going to be taking some kingdom raiding hits. I think that looks after the gods. We're going to use this storage yard to accept linen. And chickpeas. We'll start bringing those in. We'll switch beer to 800 now. And we'll bring in the chickpeas. We're going to set up a bazaar here, which is going to provide these houses with those chickpeas and the linen and ebony if we ever get to buy it again. It's time to set up 2 more forts. We might as well set up the rest of the forts as well. So that's our military looked after. We've got a lot of demons. I'm gonna take a second and pretty up the town and get our courthouses down. We've got a lot of unemployment. Just going to put down some more hunting lodges. And our entertainment schools. Should soak up a bit. Put down our scribal schools too. And our dentists. Oh good. We can go and hopefully relieve that siege of Kerma and get the ebony flowing. The ebony must flow. We'll send the hyenas. And we'll wait for the leopards to fill up, and we'll probably send them as well. We've got 16 months. We'll probably just speed ahead until we relieve Kerma. And And then I'll start to supply these houses with goods and entertainment, and we'll start evolving some manors. Oh, it's a good thing I didn't send everybody, because we're going to be fighting here before we're fighting abroad. We're going to probably have a full archery company, maybe 2 to meet them when they come. And then we'll send the survivors to Kerma. Got just a little over 1,000 people left to bring into town. It looks like I never asked for any clay. So hopefully we'll see some pottery start to happen now. I think I'm going to dispatch the leopards because I really want Kerma to be liberated. And we do have that Seth blessing promising to take care of a lot of the people that are coming here. So, we just got a Seth blessing for the guys that are away. So we're covered home and away. Now we just need Raw to lift our kingdom rating since it took a beating over the whole they want ebony and we can't get it debacle. Although we're not that far off of the kingdom rating. And they want more ebony. I spoke too soon. We're going to end up losing kingdom rating again. I'm not averse to sending gifts in this mission. It means getting out of here at a reasonable amount of time. If I was smart, I would have opened up Kerma right away and brought in as much ebony as I could hold before the siege started. Okay, Sarah. Well, that's nice. We get a kingdom rating boost from Ra. We almost have a full company to meet the enemy when they come. And in 1 month, we're going to resolve some of our issues, for good or for bad. Well, we won the battle in Kerma, and the boys have come back home just in time for the fight with the Libyans. But it doesn't look like they're here anyways. It's a military mission, so we'll watch. We lost 1 infantry. So hopefully Kerma opens up and we can start evolving manors and get out of this mission. Oh, thank goodness Kerma is back open. Let's just bring in a lot. And we'll get our stages down. This should greatly help our culture rating. I'm going to see if I can just get this inner ring to take pottery and beer and get up to the 3,000 people required. Now that that is happening, I think I might buy it in the other areas here too. Try to evolve some manners. So we're at 3% unemployment now. I think we're just going to speed things along, see if we can get to 3,000 pop. Just changed the temples and got down some more statues just to try to increase some of the appeal. We've got 500 more people to go. Unemployment is 16%. I'm going to try to evolve some more manners. Do the corner ones here. That brings us to 12%. I might have to do the final ones. That's 14 manners. We do need workers now. So our city's looking pretty good. Our military is fully developed. We have room for 302 people, so that might not be enough. And we have another siege at Kerma. But this time we've got a lot of ebony in the storage yards. And we're good on everything except the population now. For some reason, we're having trouble with this area with appeal. It keeps flopping back and forth. We're getting close to the end. Been having problems with my manors yo-yoing back and forth between manors and residences. It's been really frustrating. I have a theory. I'll talk about it at the end. But I've instructed the bazaars to buy food and linen in hopes that we'll get some of these other side houses up a little higher just to increase our population. Oh!
Well done! You have met the twin challenges of securing an important trade route and building a prosperous city that provides for even the most discriminating citizens. Your achievement is truly noteworthy.
And it looks like it was successful. Managed to make it to 3,000 people. But you can see that I've been back and forth in the last even month or two of gameplay here, just ping-ponging between fancy residences and common manors. My theory is that common manors just don't have the desirability to affect the neighbors to be stable. That in order for this block to work, they've got to go past common manors just so the desirability stabilizes. This is Selima Oasis. I enjoyed myself here, and I will see you in the next one.